Welcome to the second part of a four-part videocast covering Power Metal Resources, EPIC code POW. Chief Executive Paul Johnson joins me once again to discuss the components of the business, which include the spin-out projects discussed yesterday. Today we're discussing exploration. Tomorrow we'll be discussing financing, and the day after that, group strategy. Hello again, Paul. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thanks, Alan. How are you?
I'm very good, thanks. Very good. So we're looking at the exploration projects that the company are currently engaged in. So first of all, I'm going to bring up a slide which just shows you geographically across the world. Can you take us through this?
Yeah, sure. Well, as we said yesterday, some of our project packages are moving into their own listed vehicles, and we have effectively 4 of those in process right now. The rest of our business is made up of exploration, our own internal in-house exploration. And our key in terms of the acquisition, because you need the projects on the books to explore, our key with acquisition is to give our shareholders diversification. And that's all about risk management. If you're operational in 1 or 2 commodities and 1 or 2 jurisdictions, you have significant exposure. As shareholders and myself as a private investor over the years, I've not really been that focused on the risks that come with having a very narrow business model. So we decided with Power, we wanted a grand business model. And so we would go across the globe, and we're in North America, Africa, and Australia. We're across multiple commodities, and we're not going to be chasing the latest hot commodity as a business strategy, but we do need to be aware that having that broad exposure is important. And making sure that our exploration work does cover jurisdictions, does cover different commodities, and really gives us the best possible chance of riding the wave of the markets, yes, but also finding the commodities in the right places where people will recognize the value that's generated and build that into our share price and our market valuation.
Okay, so we've looked at the geographical spread of the projects there. Now here are all of the projects in more detail. Can you talk us through these, please, Paul?
Yeah, absolutely, Alan. Now, the intriguing thing is that's not all of the projects. There's actually some of them. But I do run this business in many respects, just like I think a private investor would want it to be run, because I am one myself. And that's, I want to see activity. I want to see a business that's pushing ahead hard and trying to achieve something with its money raised and plowing it into the ground. Now, when we, as we'll see when we talk about the overall business in one of the later sessions, we have an approach that brings projects into our business. We undertake initial exploration almost immediately, and very often as part of the due diligence process. You'll notice that if you read some of the announcements, you'll see they were actually doing work that would normally be something you would do on a project you already own, but we're doing it as part of the DD. And we're trying in those early stages to get as much information as we can about these projects before we start to sink the bigger sums later on. We also actually do that with our spin-out project packages. When we bring the projects in, we look at them straight away and we do initial exploration. And the key behind this is that there are, I think, 2 main stages in the life of a project when it gets a big uplift in valuation. One is early stage work, when that piece of ground demonstrates prospective potential with an early exploration program, you get a big uplift in value. And the second one is when you get that discovery on the patch of ground, that's another big uplift in value. So we're capturing uplift 1, as it were, with this early stage work. And then, of course, with that knowledge, Alan, we move into, do we want to move this into a spin out? Do we want to take this forward internally? And that kind of discussion. But we're not doing it from a low valuation base. We're doing it from a more substantial valuation base.
Understood, Paul. Well, thank you for that insight into the exploration currently underway with the business. Tomorrow we're going to be looking at group finance, and after that we'll be looking at strategy. Meanwhile, Paul Johnson, CEO, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, Alan.